Right on.
All right, sounds good to me too.
Sweet.
All right, hello everyone. Welcome to the second episode of this interview series in order to promote Waynestock. Today I have generifus with me, Spencer Salt, a great friend of mine. So it's great to have you here.
Thanks, Joe.
Yeah, I'm just going to take my headphones off now. Sorry for the distraction. Okay, cool. So yeah, man, we've known each other for a very long time, and tonight we're playing together at the Royal Room. So it's like seems like kind of a come up. Like we've definitely been in the trenches for a long time. So yeah.
Yeah, from the Fun Collective to the Royal Room.
Exactly. Yeah, that's about as far as a leap you can take in your career.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about yourself, I guess, or introduce yourself a little bit.
Well, Spencer. I've been making music for, a really long time, just been playing with my band for a while now, and we just have a new album and
right on
playing shows for that.
Rearrangel.
Yep, it's called Rearrangel.
Nice, and you recorded that in Portland.
Yes.
Nice. Yeah. And who did you record that with?
My friend Vin was the engineer, and he was working in the studio down there called the Trash Treasury, and then we brought up Zach Burba from Ihi, and he was the producer, so he helped pick the songs and suggest arrangements and that kind of stuff, and
cool.
Played a little bit of stuff.
Have you worked with someone in that way before?
Not intentionally, yeah.
Yeah.
Usually, like, people kind of chime in with stuff when you're recording, but this was kind of like, took a lot off my shoulders to put it on Zach's. Yeah.
Right on. Yeah, I've had the pleasure of collaborating with him when I was down in LA in April. He backed up on drums because it was just me and Will that went down in my band, and it was really fun. It was cool. So yeah, it's great to know that guy, and I'm actually going down to LA again this week, so I think we're gonna try and get together. Yeah,
cool.
Should be cool.
Just for fun.
I'm gonna go see some friends and look around at some locations for some video stuff, I think.
Cool.
I haven't really got anything set in stone yet, but I always get inspired down there. Like, I think personally,
I get congested.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, in more ways than one. So yeah, you did a music video down there for this album, a song called Glass House.
Yeah, right? Yeah, you can find that video. I used this Pure Space website to find a house that had a lot of glass, so we filmed there. It was in Encino, over the hills in the valley, kind of.
Right on.
And it was pretty fun to do.
Yeah, so that was starring you and River.
Yeah, my friend River, he's played in my band a lot, and he was the original idea was that he was going to be like a real estate agent showing me the house. Yeah. So he wore a button-up shirt and slacks. Yeah. But it turned into more of a just kind of a loose,
more surreal piece.
Yeah,
maybe.
For sure.
I think I remember part of it, like you're like kind of sneaking around the outside, and then you show up on the back porch.
Right. Yeah, and then he gives me a stone. Yeah. Because the glass house is half full of stone.
Right. I thought you were gonna like throw the stone at the window and like smash the window or something like that, which would have been kind of an expensive thing to pull off, I guess. But
raised the hourly fee by a little bit.
Yeah. I'm just gonna pause this video real quick because last time it kind of bugged out on me. So one sec. Yeah. Right on. So are your parents coming to the gig today, or?
I think so. They can find parking.
Right on. Yeah. I think we both have the nice pleasure of our folks coming out to our gigs when they're able. It's good to have that familial support for sure.
Yeah.
It's funny actually. On a more personal side detailed note, I guess, like our dads and our moms are both friends from completely separate situations, like independent of each other. Like my dad, is at the same golf club as your dad, and I guess they knew who each other were for a long time, but they just never made the connection that we both were each other's sons.
Right. Yeah.
I think my dad mentioned my name, or your dad mentioned.
I think they said my kid's playing a show or something like that.
Yeah. And then they made the connection, which is pretty funny.
Yeah, this is after we'd been friends for almost 15 years.
Yeah.
But when you're your parents don't meet when you're just friends usually.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be kind of nice if they did that more often. Like,
Yeah.
you had to like introduce your parents to your friends' parents.
Yeah.
It's something that I'll try and do as a father someday.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I was just thinking about the time that we went to go see Ariel Pink.
In Vancouver?
Yeah. Your dad
Yeah.
gave us a ride.
Yeah, that was great.
Because we weren't old enough to go see Ariel Pink in Seattle, so yeah, I think it was Gang Dance and Ariel Pink. So your dad drove us all the way to Vancouver, and then back in the same night.
Went back, in 2007. So we were like 19 and 20 maybe.
Yeah, I don't know how it was pulled off by some people that I know, but like apparently when he was touring that tour, like he just had a different backup band for every show. So like he had like really like chaotic practices with people at every city.
Yeah.
And so there were like a couple people that were like my age that somehow got to play with him at Chop Suey. I guess that's like a...
Yeah, I think in Seattle they let you come, if you're an underage performer, you can come in, go on stage, and then you have to go back right out.
Right, yeah, they like put X's on your hands and stuff.
Yeah.
Like straight edge style.
But, yeah, they'll just push you out the door,
Yeah.
It's strict, yeah.
I've got pushed out of the Chop Suey before as a young man.
Mm-hmm.
Remember Club Pop?
Yeah, that was a dance night at the Chop Suey.
Yeah, it was an 18 and up dance night, I think.
Yeah.
That Sam Russo and Mike DeLeon were involved in.
Uh-huh.
Some old heads. Still, people I'm in contact a little bit with. I saw Sam when I was in London recently for my cousin's wedding. That was cool.
Does he live there?
Yeah, he's going to school in Brighton right now. So
cool.
Yeah. Or no, he's going to school in London but living in Brighton, I think. So I think it's a little cheaper down there or something. But yeah, I remember he I don't know, he had like this hilarious radio show intro for it. But it's like long gone. I don't know. There's like certain bits of media that I feel like I wish I had my hands on.
Yeah, they were on MySpace probably.
Yeah, probably, yeah. I got like locked out of my primary MySpace, unfortunately, because there's like all kinds of crazy messages that I wrote people on there and stuff.
Yeah. Justin Timberlake took it over.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, so you've played Wayne Stock 2 times, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good, man. I think you're the only, other than Michael Brown, I think you're the only repeat performer other than myself.
Mm-hmm.
Might be getting that wrong, but
hard to say.
Yeah, it'd be great to have you back this year. I know we might have discussed it lightly, but
yeah, we should be able to.
Awesome, man.
It's gonna be a good fest.
Yeah, do you have any observations or like memories from it or things that stand out about it to you?
Well, the first one was cool. At the end, Pleasures were playing, and everyone got up on the big stage because the stage was huge. So probably like 50 or 75 people were all on there, dancing on the stage and hanging out.
Yeah.
Oh, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, so they knocked that stage down.
Yeah.
And they put up this new stage, and there's this like environmental impact sign in Volunteer Park now, like saying why the old stage was problematic.
Yeah.
And apparently the fact that it was like it had like a concrete platform was like one of like the bad things about it. Like it meant that, like union performers couldn't perform on it because it had a concrete stage. And
oh wow,
they said that there was
the new one's like kind of like a foamy.
It's not foamy. No, I'm not really
sure.
I don't know. Maybe I'm getting my facts wrong a little bit here. But
in my memory, it's like like one of those playground surfaces, that's kind of like bouncy.
I love those. I feel like those like encourage kids to like jump off of higher things, even though I don't know if they really do anything.
Yeah, the wood chips are more of a discouraging.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so you started skateboarding at a kind of a young age, right? Like you skated for a while.
Yeah.
I kind of got back into skateboarding during the pandemic. But yeah, like you used to skate at Redmond Skate Park. Yeah,
that's where I grew up skating. Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah, it's you learn a lot going to the skate park when you're like 12 and 13.
Yeah, I think we went back there together like a couple of years ago, and there was some very rude young men there, like kind of hassling some woman, and
oh yeah, right. Yeah, that wasn't cool, but that's what you do when you're a kid.
Yeah, exactly. It's just kind of weird how history repeats itself a bit. Like there's kids there that I see that remind me so much of myself when I was that age. It's like it's just really weird because you think that there's certain things that are just trends, but I don't know, like
Life is not a trend.
yeah, exactly. I don't know. It was weird though because I feel like the style of the clothing the kids were wearing was like the same style of clothing that I was wearing like 20 years ago, like cargo shorts and
Yeah.
I mean, other than like little things like Bluetooth speakers, I guess you wouldn't be able to tell that you were actually in like the modern age.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the look. They look back 20 years. That's kind of usually the way the cycle goes. Because I remember maybe early 2000s there was like an 80s fixation.
Okay.
And then like 2010s it was like 90s. Were kind of the thing, and now people are kind of revisiting the early 2000s. Yeah. There's like like new metal and pop and big like. It's you gotta wear big pants, which I'm not really up for that.
Yeah, I wonder how much of it is subconscious because they didn't seem like there was like much self-awareness going on at the skate park. Yeah, maybe it's just like what's marketed to them. Or something like that.
Everyone's subliminally pandered to. So
and I'm not saying that I'm above it either. Like
also think about if you're the company you're trying to sell something, unless you're like Levi 501, you're gonna want to change what you're selling every year to keep selling new stuff to the same people, I think.
Yeah. Let me get this going again.
Okay.
Get another side angle. I recorded it for too long last time and it kind of like got broken. So, yeah, I don't know. I feel like having two angles gives it a finished quality of some sort.
This is the MacBook camera. I feel like that was a big. I remember when you got your mom got a MacBook.
Yeah.
We used to use it for the little camera, and it was kind of those pictures were kind of it was kind of a bit of clout to have.
Like the zany photo booth.
Yeah, to have a photo booth.
You like take like a pinhole face one where you had like a huge body and a tiny head.
It was
and stuff.
Cool. It was novel,
It was like a flex or something like that.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Like if you could post on your Facebook and a picture of you with like a big like bulging head, it like meant that you had access to a MacBook. Access to a MacBook. Yeah, exactly. It was like the original like blue bubble, green bubble thing or something like that. So yeah, you have a tour coming up after this?
Yeah, I booked myself a West Coast tour. It starts June 15th, and we're going to go down to Arizona and back up. So that should be a good time. It's going to be probably pretty hot, but it's kind of just when it made sense to go on this.
Was the last tour in 2020?
Yeah, we were on tour in March of 2020, just about a week before COVID started shutting things down. Mm-hmm. We were on the road, and we were in California hearing a little bits of news, this and that. And then I came home and went back to work. And then, all my friends that were going to the South by Southwest, all their tours got canceled, and Tree Fort, all that kind of stuff. That was in March. And so
damn.
I was really lucky to have been out on the road so close to the, the events that happened.
Yeah.
And then I didn't miss it so much when everyone else, had.
Yeah, you're able to get home just in time.
Yeah, I filled my tour, cup, my quota for a while, and I wasn't really missing it, when everyone else might have been.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel pressured to do it again when other people were doing it, when it, seemed like a really dangerous thing and people were just having to come home or get stuck somewhere random for 4 days and someone got sick.
Yeah, I feel like that was a crazy thing when people were like just dipping their toes in the water of like going on tour again, like when it kind of seemed like it was chill to do it or whatever. Like,
I didn't think it was personally, and I'm glad I didn't have any pressure to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I was glad to see some people play.
Like people touring like in like at summer of 2021, kind of. I feel like that was like a little bit like sketchy, like
right. Yeah.
And also there was just like so much up in the air. I just feel like in general, just touring is just kind of stressful and intense.
Yeah.
So like adding that on top of it just seems kind of wild to me.
Yeah.
So this is the first one you've booked since then, obviously.
Yeah. We've got some good.
Do you have any like thoughts about DIY touring, or like any wisdom you want to impart, or like if someone wants to ask you like how do I go about doing it, like what would you say?
Going about doing it? Well, I mean, really the way it all starts is you just have to play, in your hometown scene, and like and bands that have been around for longer will come through. You want to play as many shows as you can, like, and reasonably promote, and play with bands that you share like interests with, and make those connections. Put them in your back pocket, and then find a time that's good to go and reach out to all those people and see who can help you, and if not, then maybe they can put you in the right direction, or you can always just Google, live music, Modesto, and see a random place you could play. And my kind of like thing for touring is like, there's like good shows with bad money, good shows with good money, bad shows with good money, and bad shows with bad money.
Yeah.
And if you have an equal number of those four, then you can, feel good about what you've done and like maybe feel like doing it again in the future.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, thinking about those that spectrum.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like we went on a couple of little tours in like 2008.
Yeah.
2009.
Yep.
2009,
8,
2010.
I think it was 7 and 8 really. Yeah.
Damn. Such a long time ago. I
yeah.
remember we like drove down my dad's Prius.
Right. Yeah.
One time.
Yeah. Yep. And we didn't bring our music, and we had his CDs, so we listened to that U2 album, Greatest Hits.
I know.
And Beautiful Day, and I can't. Every time that it's
Sunday, Bloody Sunday.
Yeah. Every time it's a nice day out, I think it's a beautiful day, and then I think of that song.
Beautiful day.
And I think of that us driving in Northern California and listening to that song really loud. Yeah.
Yeah, we had the Paul McCartney album too. Whatever that one had just come out, I can't remember the name of it, but it was like a picture of an armchair was the album cover.
Easy going.
Oh, it was Memory Almost Full, maybe, I think. And I think Paul McCartney said that the reason he called it that is because like he looked at his phone one time and it said Memory Almost Full, and he was like, oh wow, that's really deep, man.
Yeah. So, see, that's how songwriters work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just look in the direction that they're already looking.
And the Traveling Wilburys, like, they got a box in the mail. George Harrison said, "Handle with care," and he's like, I think it was George, one of them, maybe it was Jeff Lynne, said, "Handle with care." He's like, "Handle me with care." Yeah,
Yeah.
You know that song, right?
Yeah. So yeah, you just constantly have to just stay open to inspiration.
Yeah.
You never know when it's gonna hit.
Yeah.
That's
the artist way, right? Isn't that
exactly? Yeah. You have to like set the space. It's kind of like a Rick Rubin point as well, I think.
Yeah. I mean, it's all universal stuff that you can kind of tap into. Like I read the Jeff Tweedy book where he talks about writing songs, and part of it was like if you're stuck, you just open a book to a random page, and you pick a word and you go off it kind of. Then I was listening to another interview with Nikki Sixx, Motley Crue. I don't think he knows Jeff Tweedy, and he said the same thing. That's what he does. Yeah. He's like stuck on a line. He opens the book. It's like, it's that word. I have to use that word, and go off of that. And if it doesn't work, then you try it again. But.
So I think like creativity in general is just kind of just seeking out random stuff and like making it work, And like I think that a lot of the time, like I feel like growing up and hearing people with songs and finished songs, I would always be so blown away. It was like, how do they have this like complete vision? Like, how do they know this was gonna work or whatever? Like, how did they do this? Yeah. And it's like a working backwards thing all the time. Where like, you just start with something random and you kind of refine it or whatever. So like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. That's helpful to talk about at all, but like, yeah, for me at least, I think that. Yeah, I've been drawing that line with other things, like seeing people that kind of seem like they're making it up as they go along, but they like actually seem like they've got their shit together. Mm-hmm. So
it's probably a mix,
Yeah, totally. I mean, some people are just born with that complete vision, and other people just flip to a random page or whatever.
Yeah. And sometimes you can have a vision that's too hard to pull off, and then,
Exactly. Yeah. Like I think that also if you work on your craft and like kind of refine your technical skills, like when the inspiration hits, you have the ability to execute it better. So
sure.
I think that's like some sort of Jungian creativity point where like you're supposed to just refine your craft, so when it does hit, you can execute it at the highest level. Because like, that just makes the best, like, most digestible stuff for other people to enjoy, and probably be more fulfilling for you as well. So yeah, man. I was just thinking about the time that we went to New York together when we were like
young.
Yeah, we were pretty young, and
I always wanted to go so bad, and it was all that it was all that I thought it would be. I remember,
yeah, because I think we just we both seen Kids a few times and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we went through Washington Square Park.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit the record on this one again real fast. Get some more video at this angle. Yeah, and we stayed at the new school. We stayed with Dylan Fisher.
Mm-hmm.
And oh shit, let me check this camera real fast. Let's see what's going on here.
Did it stop?
Yeah, I think maybe it stops at 15 minutes or something.
Okay.
Cool. All right. Well, yeah, we can keep going. Yeah, so we were staying with Dylan Fisher. We stayed in the new school dorms.
Right.
Right? Or Parsons, was it?
I think at that point he was going to Parsons, yeah.
Yeah, and remember, like, it's easy to buy alcohol there. Or it was easy to buy alcohol underage there.
Bodegas.
Like, yeah, bodegas and stuff. So we were able to, like, get 40s and drink lots of 40s. And that felt really badass at the time.
Yeah, the city was a big playground. It was cool. And we even went down to Brooklyn to see a warehouse show. And do you remember when we got off like a train? I felt like we were like just lost or something.
Yeah,
it was like all these warehouses and just big empty streets.
Yeah.
And we met another guy looking for the show, remember? And he had a boxed wine. It was kind of ahead of its time, right?
Yeah.
A little juice box of wine.
Yeah.
He worked in a wine store.
Yeah.
And then we found the gig, and it was a big Todd P gig.
Yeah, we saw Acceptor there, and Devin Varmega was there. X-Models, and there's a band called Child Abuse playing.
Yeah.
A name that didn't really
2006.
didn't age very well.
2006, you know.
Yeah, there was just kind of like different rules back then, I guess, with band names. So I don't know. I thought it was kind of weird at the time too, though.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I like. I didn't really have any context for like that place at the time, so
yeah,
it was hard to really make sense of everything. I remember I saw Matt Broderick on that trip. I think we were both getting off the subway.
We saw Jerry Seinfeld.
Cool. We saw Jerry Seinfeld. Yeah. He was like leaving a restaurant with his family. We were just like sitting on the street. It was like the first day we were there.
Yeah, we were hungover with juice on the street.
Yeah.
And then, he walked by with his wife and kids, and they got in a Porsche Cayenne.
Yeah.
And drove off.
Yeah.
And it was in Gramercy Park. And
damn, I forgot about that.
Yeah, he had. Yeah. Oh, really? That was. Yeah, it was stuck in my head. You know.
Yeah.
Because it was Jerry, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
See someone like that on the street, you know, but.
Yeah. So you don't drink anymore, and I don't drink anymore, and I feel like maybe we could like talk about that a little bit if you wanted to. It might not be interesting for everyone, but
yeah,
like, I don't know. Like I think that personally, like for me, I can start it up. Like it just got to a point where like it didn't really. It was kind of like had more drawbacks than positive things or something like that, and I feel like more capable of just like living life now a bit more. I don't know, like I feel a little bit less like I like to feel like I'm more in control of my actions. So that's cool, and also like I like not having hangovers anymore. And I think it was probably good on my waistline too. So. Yeah, I mean, I still like sugar and stuff, and I'm trying to cut back on that.
Yeah, sugar's the real one.
Yeah.
Where someone was talking about, I was listening to a podcast at work, and they were saying like sugar's the hardest one of all the like, you know, substances to kick, because you pretty much get on it at least in this day and age as a, you know, young child.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you maybe started drinking when you were like 14 or 15 or whatever.
Yeah. And
then you're 34, so you've been drinking for 20 years, but like sugar, it's been like the whole time, you know?
Yeah, so it's like deeply rooted.
Yeah. These guys were talking about getting off sugar, and
it's like way deep down on the brainstem.
Yeah, so I don't know if that's even really worth it. I mean, there's good sugar and bad sugar, so I mean,
totally.
Just take it easy on the you know, Twizzlers and stuff, you know. Yeah,
exactly. Apparently like red 40, which is like a red dye 40, is like this red dye that's in a lot of things like Twizzlers and like red Gatorade and stuff. I love red
vines though, man.
Yeah, like apparently like it's like a petroleum based it's a petroleum based dye that's been approved by the FDA, so like apparently it's like really bad for some people's brains. Like it makes people with ADD like just really tweak out, or not tweak out, but you know, just like be inflamed. So
sure, yeah.
I think that I definitely have been diagnosed with ADD before, and have been like prescribed Adderall over the years and stuff, and
But you just cut out the red 40. Maybe you don't need.
Yeah, maybe if I just cut back on the Twizzlers,
Yeah.
everything would be fine.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. It is weird though, like getting off of sugar. Like I'm still like eating like dark chocolate every day, and like and I feel like that has like some sort of like stimulant style effects to it sometimes.
Yeah, it's good.
Like when you eat it like late at night, it can kind of keep you going and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I don't know. I think generally like I'm just making more of a connection between like what I put in my body and how I feel like directly. So
yeah.
it's interesting because like, you know, I know how to live without alcohol and other things now. Mm-hmm. So I know it's like possible to cut things out or whatever, and like I find like it's the thing that's important for me to do, because it feels like if I could kind of control that a little better, I feel like I would just in general feel like I had like more free will or more willpower. So
yeah, it's cool to just make yourself do stuff.
Yeah, totally. It's nice because it's like, I don't know, either like this insane like 4-year-old version of yourself is in control of everything, or like you can kind of like pull it back and like let someone else drive a little bit. Yeah. So that's stuff, the kind of stuff I've been thinking about lately. And you know, I'm like obviously like try not to be hard on myself or anything like that, but I don't know. I feel like
don't punish yourself.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not gonna.
You gotta be you know, just measured. You know.
Yeah, exactly. And I've just felt I feel like I've been able to feel better about myself when I've you know, not like proud of myself or whatever, but like in my body, like I just feel like better when I've like figured out how to, you know, kind of navigate things without maybe dependencies or whatever. So
I kind of got a little. This might be boring to talk about, but it was just I got like back on caffeine kind of recently. Mm-hmm. I cut out caffeine before alcohol or anything else, and but you know, it's just when you got a long day, it's hard to get through it. That, you know, with little sleep. We were traveling, so we were sleeping just a little bit, and in Ireland, and they had tea all the time, and it's really good, you know, Barry's tea.
Yeah.
Or Lion's tea, depending on where you live.
Yeah.
And but then you know, I started drinking a little espresso.
Yeah.
I knew I had to drive another 2 hours. And,
yeah.
You know, lately it's been a little bit of DC Diet Coke before. Well, I started drinking it like I get it right before our set.
Yeah.
And then it like, you know, then I'm riding a good wave there, and then after I have good energy to like load out and drive home, you know.
Yeah, Diet Coke like hits pretty hard. Like it's something that kind of catches you off guard sometimes.
Yeah, it's different than coffee. Coffee always because I think because of the acidity, it always makes me feel really like inflamed, kind of. Mm-hmm. You know, once the like caffeine wears off,
set on fire a little bit.
Yeah, I just feel like gnarly, you know. But anyways, tastes good though.
Yeah.
I work in the coffee industry. You know?
Yeah. And you're kind of moving positions now, right? You were kind of like doing more front of house stuff.
Yeah.
Going back in. What's the business called?
Dancing Goat.
Dancing Goat. Yeah, right on. Yeah, I've been trying to like cut down on my coffee as well. Just been having like one a day, and that's been working out well. You know, it's just like another one of those things where I felt like it was like having diminishing returns, where I was like drinking it too much. So you were in Ireland. How long were you there?
For 2 weeks.
Right on, man. What was that like?
It's great. Yeah. It's a whole different world, you know?
Yeah. I lived there for 2 years when I was little. So in first and second grade, I lived in Ireland because of my dad's job. And I have never been back, but I've always wanted to.
Pretty much every gas station has a soft serve machine there.
Oh, damn.
Which is like, I think, a big plus over the U.S., you know?
Man, that's dangerous.
Yeah. And they do a 99 flake, so it's got a Cadbury flake stuck in the cone, you know?
I love that shit. It's so good.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. It's just, it feels kind of, it's very uplifting.
Their dairy's a lot better for you, you know?
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, like when we were over at a wedding in Italy last year, Brooklyn and I, and she's gluten-free, and we were just like she was eating bread and was completely fine. It's just nuts how like the wheat or like the most fundamental thing is just like so different over there that it doesn't affect people.
We've got some terrible food. It's too bad, but you know, we'll live as long as we can eating it, I guess.
Yeah. It's just strange. I remember like, cause I moved here when I was 8 years old, and like I was like a thin, skinny kid. And then like within a year of living here, I was just kind of like,
Yeah.
I got like puffier or something like that, and I don't know, it's interesting.
I feel like it must be certain people's like kind of genetic makeup and how that interacts with certain things in the food. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's other factors, but like I don't know.
Yeah.
There's like people talk about. I mean, it's sad that there's like a whole like there's the food and then there's industries of like dealing with what the food does to you, both healthcare and like homeopathy, like your gut health and all that stuff. Like you need to take all these probiotics and do all this other stuff, and
it's a big cycle.
Yeah, it's rough, man.
So going back to music for a second,
Sure.
we'll get right back to nutrition after that. So like, I'm just trying to think of like practical, maybe any sort of wisdom, because I feel like you know how to like make things happen, and like how do you get someone to agree to be in your band? I guess like and what's the expectation like? Because I feel like that's like an important.
It's changed over time a little bit,
Yeah.
But I'll usually have seen someone play in another band.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
And know their skill set, and then I didn't always want a band or need one. I didn't have one for a long time, but I'd say it started about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And that was River, and he really liked my songs. So he played drums, and I could explain how the song would go rhythmically, and he could figure it out. And
yeah. So it was just you and River first?
Yep. And then Liam came to a show, our friend Liam, and said, your band would be like sick, a lot better with a bass player, or like not a lot better, but it would be full with bass. And I said,
did River play the drums?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Drum, guitar. And then I said, well, why don't you try it, Liam? And he said, okay. And then we had a trio for a year and a half or so. And then he was a little busier with the O-Rose band. So then this guy, Ben Varian, had moved to Olympia, and we both were vibing on a lot of like classic rock, like Eagles and Tom Petty and that kind of stuff. And we're had jammed a little bit. And so he started playing in the band River on bass. Mm-hmm. And then, I guess in essence, it's just, who you're around and who you share your musical interests with. And, sometimes there's like a hired gun situation, but, back then really, there wasn't a lot of money to be had, I guess. But my general thing is I'm the leader of this band. The people in my band, they have say and stuff, but in general they're kind of carrying out my,
your
ideas
vision.
and or taking my direction, like, in that.
Yeah.
And so I basically, try to keep it fair, and like after costs I just split everything as if we're all equal members of the band, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So
that's fair.
And so, I guess if someone's going to fill in, I'll kind of, like I have now, people that kind of fill in and stuff. And
yeah, and people you can kind of like depend on and stuff, like Alex Fermanis, the guy playing pedal steel, like
yeah, it's been like a core, but in the last now there's probably like, I would say there's probably 7 or 8 people that could be in the band. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
That like know some of the material, or could learn it fast and could play. And
yeah, it's surprising too, like what other people's ability levels are, because like for me as a musician, like learning songs and shit is really hard, and but there's other people.
I can do it. You have to like the stuff though.
That's
true. Or like
true.
the person at least,
That's true. Yeah.
Because if it's just something you're not, or if you don't understand it, like what they're going for.
Yeah, totally. Like my friend Noah, who's playing bass with me tonight, because Will Murdoch's going to go see Ringo Starr, like. So they're filling in, like they just like, I don't know, did such a good job with learning the songs, and I think they just have like a better ear than me or something, because I was just really impressed. And I'm just gonna make sure this camera's good real quick, but I'm just gonna go like this, and then go like this again. Okay, cool, yeah. But yeah, I don't know, it's cool to seeing like what. I mean, everyone just brings something so different to the table, and like, I think it's really, I don't know, it's rad getting someone to do your vision or whatever, and I like, I just, so like, I'm just trying to think of like other, I mean, I guess it might just be kind of a minutia or something, but I think it is kind of interesting to like. I think there's like common things that happen in bands, that it would be cool to sort of address them in a way like, oh, I don't know, like what is reasonable. I mean, everyone has like different schedules and stuff, but I wonder if there's like a way where you could be like, what's a reasonable ask for someone? Yeah, you know, if they're filling in or whatever, like.
Yeah, right.
Or how do you make it easy on someone if you're like if it's completely out of the blue? Like how do you come to them with like a, you know, how do you make it easy on them? I guess like
just give them. Yeah, I usually just give someone a set list and send them the songs and you know, if they have a question about something. Alex is really cool. You know, I'll tell Alex for Manus the set list, and then he comes, you know, with his notes, and then sometimes I look at his notes and I'm like, oh, that's not a C.
Oh, his
minor.
Like,
it's an F sharp minor.
Oh, he like transcribes stuff.
Not fully, just like a little. You know, he has like a little cheat sheet for the set. You know?
Okay, right on.
And Andrew does that too, and he helps me. He's been helping me this weekend.
Andrew Dorset.
He's been helping me keep the set list going because he has a little page for each song, and so we put them in order before the show.
Oh, awesome.
So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I'm kind of a call 'em out guy, but. You forget songs when you do that you wanted to play. So.
Yeah, I was surprised. I had a band practice yesterday, and I forgot like 3 of the songs.
Yeah.
And I was completely confident that I hadn't missed anything. But
yeah,
we're playing 10 songs tonight. So
nice. Noah
like figured out how to play like 10 songs. I'm not sure how long it took for them to do that, but it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I've done that a little bit. We played with we backed up Lee Baggett.
Oh yeah,
me and
he's
him.
Little Wings
Little
collaborator,
Wings guitarist. Yeah. And he has his own music, and we learned. He usually has like 12 or 14 songs. I have to learn, and it can be tough, but you know.
So I mean, we're kind of going in a crazy order, but like, how did you get started setting up shows and stuff? Like, did you just Did you just book things first before you performed, or?
Yeah, the Firehouse. Yeah, the Teen Center in Redmond. I had a booking internship in the summer.
Oh, it was an internship.
Yeah, it was an internship. So I was the booking intern, and it was one internship, and they turned it into 3 because there were good applicants. Mm-hmm. You know, and my role was the summer series, the 4-alarm acoustic series, and so they had a budget, and I just reached out to bands.
So they had a budget?
They had it was $1,000 for 10 shows.
Okay.
So, and this was in 2005. So, you know,
depending. That's like $1 million.
Yeah, it was like $1 million in 2023.
Yeah. You should have invested it in the stock market.
Yeah. So we booked. You know, I booked about 2 or 3 acts for each week for the summer 10 weeks, I think, and you know, I reached out to some people that I was a fan of in Washington, and they were agreed to play, and so it was pretty empowering to do that, and then I just set up regular shows there in high school, and then just kept doing that sort of stuff. Right, and then I lived at a house that we had shows at in Olympia. Yeah. And then I got involved in other houses and other venues, and was kind of promoting for a little while, but that was a little bit too hard to do.
What was the name of a big band that you booked the first show of?
What do you mean?
There's
the Firehouse?
Yeah, there's a big band. You booked.
Robin and Sky, they play.
Yeah. What's their band called?
The Fleet Foxes.
Yeah, right on.
They're cool.
Good job, man.
It was the Pineapples then.
It all started with you.
Yeah. Well, there's a picture of that show in their liner notes from my coworker had some kind of like B-side CD release, and there was a little like Polaroid from that gig.
Oh, awesome.
And I don't know. I have to look at the flyer. I think that like David Frank might have opened that show.
Wow.
Or maybe Lucas did. Remember Lucas Bischofberger?
Yeah.
Yeah, so someone, it was all Kirkland people, in Redmond.
Kirkland Music Mafia.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right on, man. Yeah. Yeah, it's cool. I mean, we've known each other for such a long time at this point, so it's cool to see like where we're gonna be a few years from now.
Just doing music,
Yeah, hopefully.
And life.
It's a real blessing to just be able to like get it together and be able to do it and. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was thinking maybe we could like just sit here for a second and just. No, I'm just kidding.
Set an intention for tonight.
Yeah, we should though. Like, I am going to try and be relaxed and a nice guy and play well and feel good inside. I feel like, yeah, like day of show rituals, just like being relaxed, calm, and like being well rested from the night before is good. So I think I got all those things checked right now. All those boxes checked.
Right on.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I think we could just end it here, I guess. Do you have anything you'd like to say? Like, how can people find out about you? Like,
just look for generifus online.
Yeah, right on. What are the cities that you're coming to in your tour?
Most West Coast.
West Coast.
Yeah, SF, LA, Phoenix, Tucson, Sacramento.
Where are you
San
playing
Diego.
in Tucson?
Che's Lounge.
Okay, right on.
It's a bar spot.
Not the Shea Cafe in San Diego?
Not this time, no. I believe I played there a few times, yeah.
Right on, man.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like a funny gig that you played that I went to. Like, remember that time in Ballard that you played a show? Was that with Little Wings and like some guy like smashed the window?
Yeah, the house show. Yeah. That was that was an infamous gig. Yeah, because they had played a show at Sunset the night before, so they were just letting loose at this house show, and there was kind of a house party element to it where people who didn't know who Little Wings were and what a show was essentially.
Yeah.
And they wanted to this guy was trying to beatbox with Kyle, and he like rebuffed them a few times, and the dude went downstairs and like punched through a window.
Yeah.
You know?
He just like wasn't doing good or something because it was.
He was intoxicated, man.
Yeah.
You know? So.
But I think that's an interesting thing that I kind of witnessed a few times where there was people that were like having house shows and there were other people that weren't really aware of like what the point was or
they
something.
Thought it was a party.
Yes.
Jam and
stuff. And like,
you
know, there's this weird thing where like, yeah, come have a good time or whatever, but there's like also like there's like an intention here.
Yeah.
And I think that's an interesting thing. Like with Wayne Stock, I kind of like last year there was like a few people there that were like kind of wasted, and like there was this guy who was like
in the park.
High on MDMA who was just kind of being a bit insane, and like he wasn't too belligerent or anything like that, but like it is funny when there's like, you know, there's like a festival vibe where people are just getting like shit faced and stuff and taking drugs or whatever, and like Wayne Stock really like isn't that.
Yeah, we're just blowing bubbles in Wayne Stock.
Yeah, we're just playing bubbles. It's like it's a family affair and stuff. So like,
kids are
I don't
welcome.
know. When people hear festival, I think they think one thing and they see it as like an opportunity to like be crazy and stuff. And like I'm like saying this as like a 36-year-old man, so like obviously like I have different priorities in my life right now. So yeah, I'm not trying to like dissuade anyone from coming that wants to have a good time, but
you do so responsibly, you know.
Yeah, and just like be. I think that like my advice to younger men in general is like, just be aware that you're like making a bigger impact on people than you realize. Like when you come into a space, you go to a show or a party or whatever, like,
for sure,
you're making more of an impact than you realize, and the way you carry yourself is noticed, and
be nice.
Yeah, just be nice, and don't be on. I think there was like someone that we knew whose dad was like, "Don't be on more than 2 drugs at a time" or something. So
that's good advice.
Yeah, it's pretty good advice.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So it's kind of a funny way to end it, but yeah. Thank you very much, man. I'm excited to play with you tonight, and
and at Wayne Stock.
Yeah, Wayne Stock, August 18th through 20th. Yeah. There should be a website that you can visit for tickets and things like that, and more lineup information. All right, thank you very much.
Pika snoring. That's funny.